And the answer at that time I had was, oh, I'm going to start up a photo. Dr. P.S. Just be taking very there's a colleague of mine who said, I'll run a fleet of auto taxis. I'll buy a lot of autos and I'll just sit back like a safe. They are here. But there are people who have done it much better than us. One of them, Captain Kamal Chadda, right here. Did you think I will become a media baron? Yeah, great. Or for that matter, Chirag, where did he go? Did you think that I'll enter into this whole area of, seafarer, mental well-being and so on? Yeah, maybe there were thoughts about it, but you have made those into reality, a lot of success stories. But when we come to technology, we have success stories there also. What about Shravan Rewari, builder of, I would say, simulators which are now recognized world over? Or for that matter, our own Nikunj Parashar, who we will see in the afternoon, who has gone into the area of automated vessels, even aircraft, drones, and so on. These are seafarers like you and me. So our next speakers, who I'll introduce shortly, has actually shared some 3 thoughts with me, and I'm conveying to you his thoughts. He says that the human mind is the best design machine. Best design machine, as true, absolutely. And human intellect is a great leveler between populations. What does it mean, leveler between populations? It means world over, look around, human intellect is present everywhere. It's not like in some population they are rich in gold or oil or whatever other resources. Human intellect is everywhere. And therefore, because of its equitable distribution across the world, some of the best technological solutions can be found right here in our own country. We may not be great in, like advanced nations and so on, but intellectually we have that capacity. We have that huge database of people, highly intellectual, highly intelligent, and a lot of solutions, technological based, can therefore be developed right here in this nation of ours. All it needs is imagination and innovation. Of course, that has to be backed with what are his words? Aspirations and enterprise, right? So when it comes to manufacturing and providing services, we may still look to advanced nations who have the capacity to build all of that. But when it comes to technology and intellectual property, that would still remain here if it originated from here. That we still have capture on that. And that's all very nice, so we come to seminars and conferences and forums and conclaves, and there's lots of discussions, but that discussion part has to be pushed into action. And for that, you need passion, you need to be persevering, and you need to have those goals very clear in your mind. And such a person is Captain D.C. Shekar, who has actually displayed all of that. And a short introduction of him is, from the common things that we always talk about, T.S. Rajendra, 1980-81 batch, 20 years plus at sea as a tankerman, but moved into the area of financial management, where he studied in Singapore. He also went to IIM Bangalore for Executive General Management Program, and then starts his long list of accomplishments. I'll read a few. Technological commercial feasibility studies of cruise tourism, inland waterways, seaplane landing sites. EIA, guys, what is EIA? Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA, it's a big thing. On even a bigger thing, Kudankulam Nuclear Power Plant. So he did an EIA for that. Offshore desalination plants, silt traps for water bodies, ocean wave to electricity converters, hydraulic robbers for crude oil tank washing, not tankers, please. This is tank farms ashore, crude oil tanks, and they need, robots for washing them up. Waterfront perimeter fencing. Are you there, Captain Shekar? Great.
Yes.
And even, as you will see probably on a video, cleaning up of lakes and rivers, which not necessarily is very high tech, but you will see how effective it is. So with this background, and I see Captain Shekar has joined us here, it's my pleasure to invite him for his sharing his thoughts with us. And sir, 15 or 20 minutes max, and we'll have some questions from you later. So please keep your pens ready if you need any. If you don't have any questions, that'll be fine also. Just pay attention to what he has to say. Over to you.
Captain Sharma, thank you very much for your kind words. Sounds better when I hear my work from your words. And thank you, Captain Shaukat, for your invitation. Okay, here I would like to take the next 15 minutes to talk about what we could accomplish. I consider myself an average mariner, but we got into it, let's say, about 5 to 6 years back, as with all of us, with sitting with friends, having a beer and talking, okay, the government should do this, they should do this, these people should not litter here, they should not do that. The next day morning, when you open the door, it's the same world, nothing has changed. And that happens ever so often. So one of those days I decided, look, let me get up and do something, whatever little I can do. And that's my difference to the world. I like to see the change in my lifetime, see a better world in my lifetime. I'll do what little I can do. And there we are in about 5, 6 years time now, about 3 city rivers we have cleaned, and perhaps about 50,000 tons of trash stopped from going into the ocean. Perhaps 10,000 tons of plastic stopped from going into the ocean. And that's what one person can do if he can make up his mind. So I will request Captain Shaukat if someone can play the 2-minute video, and then after that, I'll like to carry on with my talk. Please. Thank you very much. This river and lake cleanup seems to be one of sorry. This river and lake cleanup seems to be one of the more popular, a little bit more written about solution. But otherwise, we have developed hydraulic robots for cleaning crude oil tank. It's in ATEX and ICX approval stage. That is for sweeping the tank bottom. This for the tank farms, not for the ship's tank, which is the next stage where we will learn how to deal with those bulkheads and the subdivisions and things like that. At the moment, the tank farm on the land is much easier to deal with. And it is totally powered and controlled by hydraulics. We have developed a wave energy harnessing device tested in an indoor wave pool. We have further designed a wave-powered boat, not prototyped yet, but very soon will be prototyping. It's a small vessel, unmanned, and that will power itself with the waves. So we bring in the core technology of harnessing energy from the wave for the boat. The remote control and all that is today available. We'll be integrating those solutions. We have made silt traps. Silt is one of the major problems in every stream, drain, river, dam reservoir, ports, all of that. So this is a first stage passive device that traps the silt which goes past and is removed mechanically at a very low per ton cost. We should be doing the pilot project very soon. In the lab level, it has been hugely successful. So that will be something that we'll implement soon. We have a long bucket list of what we'd like to do, God willing, including big jet crafts, which requires aerodynamics and hydrodynamics both. A couple of other such things. So I'd like to share with you very quickly my journey in this line and some of the challenges and some of the wisdom that we acquired in the hard way, and like to share that. One of the first things is we normally imagine that when we set out, we are caught by an idea. We think we're going to be sitting on the conference table and then discussing the design and testing the design and things like that. But in reality, entrepreneurship and innovation is quite different streams. You want to be an innovator, but you end up being an entrepreneur. And that brings with it a lot of minor details of compliances, taxation, the HR, and this and that takes away a lot of your energy. Some of those blessed people, they often set out of this career with a team, with a few people together, co-founders, and they make their life easier by choosing to innovate, and some other co-founder takes care of the rest of the details. We have a lot of opportunities around us that we normally tend to miss. All the solution need not be very complicated. Sometimes it is just plain simple thinking that takes us far. Whenever we get boxed into a corner to find a solution, one of the best designed things in this world is a human or an animal body. You look around and you get inspiration from that. The way our fingers and our elbows, the way it moves, I think it's much before the robots were all designed. When we had to design the robots for the crude oil tank, it has got steam heating coils about 50 centimeters above. You have a very distinct choice. Either you have to jump over that or you have to go underneath that. We were thinking in terms of a six-legged dog, just to help the concept, the mind, that could cross the heating coils. But finally, we ended up making it so compact that it went under the heating coils all over. And that made it much higher value than today's models in Europe that are too big, that don't go under the heating coils. This is all the first generation robotics inside a tank. And I can tell you with pride that they are far more versatile, what we have made. And this is not to sell any product to you. I would like the younger generation who are sitting over here to understand and get a certain confidence that in India, we can develop the best of the products. Innovation, as I understand it, it is like standing on one peak and you know which is the distant peak you want to go to. but you don't know the route. As you go one peak to the other, the road ahead becomes clearer. Prototypes are like those peaks in between. You are standing on an x-axis, if you imagine. On the minus side of the x-axis, you have all your learning, the books that you have read, the movies that you have seen, the Google that you have searched, and whatever images comes to your mind. The plus side of the x-axis is things you have never seen, never been told. It's your imagination. You think about it. A small kid might do very good on the plus axis side, where he can imagine things that he has not been told. And on the minus axis, a seasoned technocrat might have a wealth of knowledge and information, but is too tired to imagine new things. When you are innovating, you have to flip between the two effortlessly to make a good innovation. That often we do. Cross-industry experience and the worldwide visit and worldwide the view is very good. It helps opens up the mind to a lot of possibilities. And that's one reason I think seafarers are really suited for this, because he has seen a lot of it. And when you think about a possible solution, you can imagine and also come back to your experience, cross-industry experience. In fact, on a ship, I do believe right from the hotel, heat and light services, you are actually in charge of a lot of different industries. You have a lot of knowledge of maybe surface level knowledge about a lot of industries. So your mind opens up to various possibilities. What makes a good innovation? When you have a problem, you have been told a problem by a client, you have to solve that problem first. You can add data management, you can add sensors, you can add artificial intelligence, you can add machine learning, you can do a lot of those things. That doesn't cut ice if you haven't solved the core problem. When you set out to clean rivers, I have had a lot of people call me and say, we can give you AI, we can do this, that. And we said, no, my first priority is to first clean the rivers. And if I can do that, after that, we can value add. Those are very useful tools. There's no doubt about it, but one should know where to fit it, not just for the oomph value, for funding or other things. There's a lot of tendency to add these things. I have often been asked, when I show these things, they say, okay, look, where is the technology from? I tell them, look, it's right here in India. We have developed it. A typical response is, oh, reverse engineering, is it? And I have to tell them, no, it's not reverse engineering. The idea has originated here. And I can see so many times a certain disbelieving, oh, all right, okay. I'm not blaming them. It's a country's brand image. We have been fed with the idea that new technology comes from the West. It is somehow so ingrained into the system that good technologies come from the West. In my experience, what we have seen recent past, whatever we have studied, they are not necessarily good ideas. There are good ideas and there are bad ideas. Except in the Western world, they fund a good and the bad idea both lavishly. With the result that you have good quality control, good workmanship, but the underlying solution may not be always the smartest. It is almost the opposite in India. Funding doesn't come easy. Now, of course, there's a lot of change from the top, from the government level, but still the funding doesn't come easy. So you have to think through. In some ways, I do believe the more you think through, the less you are making wasteful prototypes. So, but we are on the other extreme. To the extent that sometimes people call jugaad. It's a very unkind word in India, jugaad. You don't give a guy money, and then after that you say, look, what you made is jugaad, and you give a nice patronizing smile to it. No, you give him money like any other country. He will come back with a visiting card saying that is a technology development company, and he will impress you with the production values. Else, he is going to do what he is doing. He doesn't have many choices. So overcapitalization is also, I believe, is a curse. Sometimes it kills a project. I've seen working technical solutions for harnessing wave energy that was so overcapitalized that one would just take it for the oomph value, not because you are going to ever adopt that, because the cost of power is so high. In India, our strength is being very rational with the capital, partly because psychologically we haven't really had a very free flow of funds. And that makes a project which is not viable somewhere else viable here. There has to be a certain rational connection between the revenue model and the capital. Now, the impression that is normally given, Captain Shaukat, if I overrun my time, please ring the bell anytime, I'll stop. Success. What is success? Is getting funding is a success? Being unicorn is a success? I would say if I've cleaned 3 rivers in my lifetime, I consider myself a successful man. But the impression today we are giving to the youngsters is a little different. Success is all about achieving funding to becoming a unicorn and counting the number of unicorns. Not necessarily. Bootstrapping your way through gives you a lot of freedom. You are adding a lot of value. Even that can be success. We have reached the sustenance level with our own proprietary innovations. That is a certain threshold you have to cross if you have to survive. When you get into business, it is like cycling or swimming. You can't learn it from simulators. You have to be on the hot seat yourself. It is like a bird flying off a cliff and flapping the wings very, very hard. Some of them do not get the buoyancy and the lift, and they go down and they don't get called to seminars to share the knowledge. Only those who survive financially and those who do well, they are the people who are sharing the wisdom. As per me, Captain Gopinath of Air Deccan is one of the best entrepreneurs and innovators. But I have not seen much of him, though I think he has a lot to share. So I believe we should listen to all the stories. In difficult times, we go through difficult times. In enterprise, always there's good and bad times. And when you go through the difficult times, you're wondering what you're doing here. One of the thoughts that, like an anchor cargo for a port, we have an anchor thought that, look, you are doing it for our country. And that somehow justifies your trouble, whether you take less money home or whatever. You get a certain satisfaction you're doing for society, for your home. That's what keeps us going through the difficult times. Now we have a lot of new things lined up, what we like to do. And we are very confident each of these things we will be able to do. For us, the success is when one of my fitters on my shop floor, he came to me and told me, sir, this particular part is very expensive. Shall I design it? And somehow in my mind, I was smiling that in our small organization, we have developed a culture where he's so confident to design that we can, so the kind of future takes care of itself. So, this is broadly my thoughts, Captain Shaukat, and thank you very much. And I finished, and I'm open to further questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Shaukat, you are the organizer of the whole thing. Can't be refused. Okay. Please.
Captain Shekar, sir, my question is, you collect a lot of garbage, right, from the from the rivers. What do you do with those?
Okay, I'll tell you, our expertise is in arresting it and bringing it to the river bank, right where it can be picked up from the river bank, and with the excavators and the conveyors. We do not like to get involved in the second part of it, of treating the garbage and disposing, because our belief is we pick up 20 to 30 tons in a day, and something like Chennai Corporation dealing with 5,000 tons in a day. So they have a full-fledged facility. I don't want to create a separate facility on the river bank to treat this 20 tons. We leave it to them that they have an extensive facility. Let them take it another 20 tons and they can deal with it. If they're not doing that properly, we have a bigger problem, not just for this 20 tons. We have a bigger problem with 5,000 tons. But I do believe they're doing their best.
Thanks, sir. And I see Gurmeet Rangar here lives in Powai, is wondering when your services are going to come to Powai Lake and remove all that muck from there. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay.
Mrs. Shekar, just a quick one. So as you said, we have the brain power, we have the technology, but there is a lack of a financial institution, to fund this sort of things. What's your take on this, specifically for the maritime industry?
Okay. Let me say, generally, culturally, we lack a risk appetite. I think it's an unkind thing to say, but that is being realistic. We know what we are doing. We know we are very good to think on our feet, but we do not like to part with money very easily. That's a sad part. But oil industry, shipping industry, these are all industries which have got the funds. And when somebody provides a certain value, you are giving a certain value, there's somebody ready to pay for it. So I think the shipping industry, oil industry, some of these industries should be ready to take up a good idea. But often culturally, we do not throw money at an idea, we throw money at a solution which has been validated beyond doubt. So you have a little climbing a vertical wall until you have validated. So we have done prototypes to prove our concept until the proof of concept person doesn't put his money in his hand in his pocket. After that, they are more relaxed about it.
Thank you. Gyanendra, last question.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Captain Shekar. I think last time also when we had the webinar, I said the same thing. One, your name. I know Captain GC Shekar, and then I know you. All intelligent people, I suppose, have this family name Shekar. And the second thing which I said was, a bridegroom goes looking for a bride. And he says, "Gori bhi honi chahiye, lambi bhi honi chahiye, working bhi honi chahiye." तो दूसरा पूछता है कि एक से शादी करना है या इतने से शादी करना है? That's the case with you. How can you as one person keep doing so many things with innovation and doing it so well? My only question will be, sir, I heard about this last time also, that you have robots to clean the tanks. Now, inside an oil tank, it should be intrinsically safe. So these robots are also intrinsically safe, remotely powered and all that?
Absolutely. And it is entirely powered and controlled by hydraulics and zone 0. ATEX zone 0 is slightly difficult standard, but yes, we have put in all the ingredients to get a zone 0 certification, ATEX and ICX certification. So that process is happening now. And once that is over, this robot is, we do not have regular servo motors and those things. It is controlled and powered by hydraulics, except for a pre-approved camera for zone 0.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions? So we are timed out with questions. And thanks again to Captain Shekar for coming on from Chennai and talking to us, sharing his thoughts. And it's no wonder that he is the awardee of the Innovation of the Year award from CMMI. I forgot to mention that. Sorry about that. And
sorry, may I just, I got a fellowship, and the award, Innovation Award, came from ASSOCHAM a couple of years. Yeah, but thank you very much.
You didn't tell me that now. Okay, great. Thanks very much, and thanks to the audience. I hope you found this a very interesting session, and you will be motivated to take up what was on your mind and bring it to the market. Thank you.
Thank you.
एक से शादी करनी है या वो सबसे, उसका जवाब शायद ये है कि the two of them are such precise. They've managed to keep it so precise. उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि 30 minutes का टाइमर लगाना और 54 पे शुरू हुआ था, 124 पे उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया. Maybe that is the answer कि वो कैसे इतनी सारी चीजें कर पाते हैं. Thank you so much, both of you. It's been an honor and pleasure to have you here. May I please request Mr. Apurv Shah of Ace Insurance to present a memento to Captain Sharma, and Captain Shekar's memento will reach his office very shortly. on to the next session. We have Captain Dhruv, who will be leading the next session. Can we have his audio introduction, please?